Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Noosphere podcast. We haven't been here in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks, I think it's been. We are joined today by Dan, aka Little Willie.
My wife came back.
Oh, what was the occasion?
Huge penis.
Well,
it's just a huge penis.
That'll do it. Can't argue with that. And we're also joined, speaking of huge penises, by James, aka the Man Magos.
Thank you. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or a slur.
It's both.
It's both, okay.
You're a huge penis with a huge penis.
Yeah. Enos the penis. Anyone who doesn't know who Enos the penis is, Google it. It's the greatest chimpanzee who ever lived. He went to space and jacked off the entire time.
Hell yeah, brother.
Anyway, speaking of jacking off, Warhammer Fest. That's what we're talking about today, as well as sort of chaos stuff, because that happened at Warhammer Fest. This went on from the 4th to the 7th. We don't give a shit about any of those days except the 4th, because that was the Warhammer 40k day, and the rest was just shit we don't care about. I'm sure other people care about it, and I'm sure other people will talk about it, but we're not going to. Also, Chaos Knight's Codex is being released next week on Saturday as well.
An Imperial Codex, but nobody cares.
Oh yeah, no one gives a shit about that. Also, they announced that chapter approved points are going to be free. You're going to be able to download.
Oh, no fucking way! We don't have to pay for DLC patches anymore. Fuck off.
And there's a new Warzone Nachmund book coming out, which for the most part we don't care about because the army renowns that it includes are trash, super trash. But we'll have a chat about them anyway. Before we dive into any things in any sort of meaningful order, is there anything from Warhammer Fest or from the Chaos stuff or Chaos Knights that anybody would like to pick out specifically?
James, you want to go first?
There isn't really. I mean, the only things that genuinely interested me is I want to know if this new tank from the Heresy is going to come to 40k. I'd like to think it would.
What, the
Spartan?
The Spartans already parted.
No, the fucking
oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
Kratos.
Yeah.
It is all but extinct in the 41st millennium, which makes us think it'll be spend a CP to have it.
It's you know those Forge World tanks? What are they called? The
Spartans.
The Venator. Are they called Venators or whatever they're called?
It's halfway between a Spartan.
Sicarans.
Sicarans. Sorry.
It's a Sicaran chassis, but with a very large battle cannon attached to the top.
Yes, which can be
like
swapped.
a Baneblade cannon to me.
Yeah, well, what do you call the Astartes Baneblades? The
Baneblades.
So the Astartes have got Baneblade size tanks, yeah, Fellblades. So yeah, it's like got a Fellblade turret on it. So like you say, it's halfway between those two. It's got a big Volkite gun, a big melter gun, and a big battle cannon gun that in 30k can fire 3 types of shells. Yeah. Whether that'll translate over to 40k, I doubt it, but obviously the Volkite and the big melter gun will. So yeah, I kind of do hope that'll transfer over to 40k. I mean, other than that, we'll get a little bit more insight through Necromunda squats, what possibly the leagues of Voltan will look like. I doubt.
So I've read somewhere that the squats in because there's a bunch of actual squat models, but they're apparently not from the League of Votan.
No, but I still think things like these weapons that they're carrying will probably transfer over. I can't see them being like a Necromunda only weapon.
There's quite a lot of Necromunda only weapons, to be fair.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some very most. if you look at all of the Necromunda models and weapons, you'll find that pretty much none of them translate over to 40k.
So do the obscure like needle
Yeah,
pistols.
every single model I've seen in Necromunda has not really been available in 40k, except for the Gelapox guys from Necromunda.
Galapox weren't from Necromunda, they were from Kill Team.
Oh no, sorry. The only things that can be transferred over from Necromunda are the cultists of the Abyss.
Yes.
And you don't even get like a proper squad size or like proper guns for them. But yeah, you know what I mean. So no, it's doubtful, highly doubtful, unfortunately.
I do like the kill team models, the new kill team. I don't think Intercessors necessarily needed any new models, but hey ho, it's Space Marines, so they're going to do them. Obviously,
Aren't they infiltrators?
Sorry, infiltrators. You're right. Yeah.
They're just infiltrators with an upgrade sprue, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Which is one with a medic arm, one with like a freaking looks like he's going to detonate some C4 or something.
Yeah.
One with a fancy servo skull on his back, and there's one that's got like a huge purity seal. So again, I mean, they didn't really need the models, but they've released them. They're quite nice if you like. You like the models, you like the models, and these are something a little bit different, so everything doesn't look the same, I suppose. But yeah. Chaos cultists, obviously, or chaos. It's traitor guard, isn't it?
There's cultists.
Yeah, baby.
Cultists, mutants, all sorts.
Yeah, they excite us. That really does excite us because it kind of means, well, between you and me, we've both got plenty of Imperial Guard tanks and artillery, etc. So I don't think it's going to be a big stretch if they're going to release. You're going to be able to run a traitor guard army.
One day we can only hope. It would be cool. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think the Chaos Codex
confident.
will probably allow you to do it.
I think they'll allow you to do it the same way Genestealer Cult can bring guard, and it'll be a shitty shoe-in.
It won't be competitive. It's a shame because it's an opportunity missed.
Yeah. The problem is with Imperial Guard, you can basically run them as traitor guard anyway. You just pick whatever fucking custom or whatever regiment you want and just paint them as chaos. Because what could chaos possibly bring to guard that you don't get from any of the existing regiments?
Badass spikes.
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, you get marks.
But then they'll take away something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It'd be cool to get traitor guard, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. It'd be nice for them to fix the fucking Codex first. The thing that's got me most excited is the Dark Commune. The HQ cultist that's got a big sword. That's it. That's it. I just like, it's just a dude with a big sword. Looks cool.
I know there's a lot of good stuff. I think pretty much all of the chaos models that they showed, so all the weird cultists and the possessed, I think they look amazing.
Possessed look rad.
Just Games Workshop really is like really pushing the envelope, I think, in terms of plastic kits these days, despite how much shit we give them for their sculpts are pretty phenomenal. Which one's the weird, let's say the Torments. Holy shit, the Torments look amazing.
The one where it's got a Torment demon literally being torn out of a guy's body
they all have
shoulder.
Yeah, they all have that. All of them are demons coming out of them. I can't
decide. I can't decide whether it's the guy that's like got one of his feet propped up to make room for the Chaos Beast's arm to kind of like level him out a bit, or the one with wings I like the most.
The wing. There's a bunch of good ones. I like the guy with the a seal in its
Coming out of
mouth.
his mouth, yep.
Yeah.
100%.
They're all really good, just fantastic sculpts. And the other guys look really fucking cool. What they called? The Dark Commune.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic models again. Really good.
And I like that there's sufficient like differentiation between the bits that you put on them that makes them represent different Chaos Gods.
Yeah.
And they've done the same for, and I'll move on to the new Demon Prince. Like the new Demon Prince, they've given 4 different heads.
Yeah.
So that it can represent each of the 4 gods, which I'm a big fan of. The Demon Prince itself looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's great models.
It's a lot more serious than the sort of almost comical 90s looking Demon Princes of previous.
The old one's pretty goofy.
Yeah.
That's why I've changed. Well, you've seen the one that I've had.
Yeah.
I think it was you, Dan, that said, like, out of obviously, like, in person when we were talking, how it harkens back to the old metal one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
With the backpack.
Based on the,
Yeah, the aesthetic's really nice. It's just a shame, though, because I think everybody will probably run a winged one.
You'd be surprised. I see quite a lot of lists, tournament lists, where they're running Demon Princes without the wings.
Well, the nice thing about the new one is, right, he has a jetpack. So it's a lot easier to magnetize.
Yeah, much easier.
As you can use a jetpack. They are allowed to use jetpacks instead of wings. The old one, I'm talking about the metal one, that one had just the big boy jetpack. So, yeah, no, it's awesome models. Fantastic. And I like that, the heads are based on, don't know if you guys noticed, the heads are based on the greater demons.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty dope. Yeah, I like them a lot. Great, fantastic models. They're trying to pull me back into chaos, man. It's tough. It's tough out
there. What do you think I wish they'd done? Oh, go on, sorry.
No, you
Nathan.
go first, my friend.
I was going to say, the only thing I wish they'd done, and I understand why, but they've slapped on the 4 different heads on to the Black Legion, essentially Chaos Demon. I'd have actually quite liked to see them take the time and paint up 4 Demon Princes in the 4 Chaos Gods, if that makes sense, and had like the 5th one as the unaligned, as the Black Legion, because I'm looking at them and like the sculpts are fantastic, but I don't think that the images that they put on the website at this point does those head sculpts justice, because it kind of gets lost in against the black.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think that's just for presentation purposes. Because I think if you look at those heads, they look almost a little bit photoshopped.
I think it might have been
onto the thing.
Maybe
it is possible.
I don't think. I really don't think they've painted the same model 5 times.
No, because it's so black on in certain. Yeah, actually, now I zoom in.
It would make sense.
Zinch one's well cool though.
That's my favorite. My favorite's definitely the Zinch one.
Yeah. I would go Zinch, Korn, Slanesh, then Nurgle. The Nurgle feels a bit like rat-looky.
Yeah.
But not.
That's fine.
Nurgle?
Yeah.
Nurgle one looks exactly...
famous for their rats.
It looks like... it's the Great and Clean one. More specifically, Scabiathrax.
Scabiathrax, yeah.
No, sorry, not Scabby. Rotigus. Sorry, not Scabiathrax. Rotigus.
Oh, the one with the... Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, the wizard one.
The one with the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think this was prior to Warhammer Fest, but it was on the same day. We got an announcement that the World Eaters Codex is a thing, which we already knew from leaks. Unfortunately, what we do know is that it ain't coming for some time. Because, it basically said somewhere in the article that it was a way out. But the good news is that it appears that the Khorne Bazonkers box is going to get a few more chain axes in it. Because they give us a CGI render of at least 4 chain axes, which gives me hope that there will be more than one in the box.
Well, I assume they're all gonna have axes, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
it's
their whole shtick. It's either all axes, and it looks like they have big two-handed axes.
Yes.
So I'm guessing something akin to.
Well, the Chaos Chosen, they've got that new two-handed chain axe, haven't they?
Yeah.
Or chainsword, or whatever it is, heavy chainsword. So I assume it'd be similar to that.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see if they give them like the option to maybe do you go like all just double chain axes, or do you go like chain axe and a pistol or something for a little bit of shooting? Curious to see.
Well,
what
at
they
the
take.
moment, everybody's running one chainsword, one chain axe on every berserker. So if they nix that, there's going to be a lot of very, very sad corn players.
Yeah. And a very happy Games Workshop because they're going to be selling a lot of kits.
Or Forge World is going to be selling shitloads of their chain axe things because you can buy just chain axes from Forge World, which I imagine I'll end up having to do. It also, gives me vague hope that Angron is coming in some.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance of that
in some shape or form. But he's
no,
a demon
it
primarch,
makes sense,
right?
bro. Yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can release a World Eater Codex and not have Angron.
Yeah, I mean, Death Guard got theirs. Thousand Suns got theirs on release, so it makes sense. There's precedent.
Yeah. So yeah, we've already mentioned the new cultists, the new possessed. Possessed are now just greater possessed. The normal possessed are dead and gone. They're a thing of the past, and the greater possessed are now just normal possessed. They're big boys. They've got new models. They still
We told this, didn't we?
Still got crab hands. Well, I see. We sort of called it, but didn't because it was in the leak. We knew it was going to happen. We knew it was coming. The new possessed models seem alright. They look fine.
They look awesome, dude. So many crab hands and tentacles.
Yeah, and one of them's got a chain axe, of course.
Yeah. No, they look awesome.
They seem fine. Looking at the data sheets for the Great Possessed, I was actually watching one of the Red Path podcasts a couple of weeks back, and even before the new 9th edition Codex comes out for Chaos, they were saying that they actually quite like the look of Possessed with lightning claws. Obviously, not with lightning claws, just with their standard claws, because they're just relatively decent melee, like nuisances. They're quite chunky boys, so it'd be interesting to see what happens to them.
They look like they're possibly on 40mm bases as well.
The Greater Possessed are already on 40mm bases.
Oh, yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I only have 2, but yeah, they're on 40mm bases.
No, they look heckin' cool, dude. I can't. Yeah. Fantastic models.
And judging by the number of models, so we've got Chainsword Man, Crab Man, Dude with half a wing, an axe, and an arm.
5-man team.
It's a 5-man team instead of a 2-man team, which is better. Yeah. Aside from that,
are you sure Greater Possessed are no longer a thing?
Yes.
So they're getting rid of the old Possessed.
Possessed.
No, there is no old Possessed. We already have new models for Greater Possessed. That's why I'm surprised by it. Does that mean that those models are no longer Greater Possessed? They're just going to be used as Possessed?
So, Possessed models as they are disappear because they're tiny. Greater Possessed disappear. The Greater Possessed key, like the name is gone. Possessed are now basically Greater Possessed.
Right. Now I'm just curious what they're doing with those new models. I guess they're just going to be used as Possessed, right?
They're the same base, same size. They'll be functional Possessed.
Because those are pretty great looking too.
Yeah. And they're in the Start Collecting kit, so it would make sense that they would still carry on being sold because they can be fundamentally used. it just makes me wonder if they'll make the minimum squad size 2 to accommodate the fact that the start collecting box only has 2 in it. Who knows? They might make it 3 and just be like, go fuck yourself, you need to buy another box. Which is, you know, it can happen.
It's Games Workshop.
Yep.
Well, actually, no. I know what's gonna happen. I think that kit's gonna. I think that box set is gonna go. Yeah, they're gonna release a new Combat Patrol instead.
How much is that one currently priced at?
£45.
Well, it's not it's
with discount. Sorry.
Yeah, discount.
£60.
Yeah, because all the new Combat Patrol boxes are going up to like £90 or 75 with discount. So yeah, I think you're right, Dan. They're getting rid of all the small £60 start collectings.
Yeah, they have been. Yeah, though it's a weird one because the new kits, right? The Combat Patrols usually are pretty good value or better value than the old stuff.
Yeah,
provided the actual units are what you want.
Yeah, some of them are great, right? Like the Drakari one's really good. And some of them are not so good, like the Admech one.
Yeah, some of it's questionable. Aside from that, Cato Sicarius. Primaris, Cato Sicarius.
Yeah, there's a thing.
There's a picture of him. There's a piece of artwork with Gulliman, with a giant bear. I don't know who the fuck the bear is.
I was going to say, I want the bear model, a bear in Imperial Guard armor. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know what the bear is. 1 second, let me Warhammer 40k bear. Oh, there's a space. Oh,
space bears.
Space bears are a thing, are they? Sure.
Bears of the Claw is a Space Marine chapter. All right. That's a thing. He's got a bear helmet.
What?
Okay. Bears of the Claw. No, that's homebrew shit, dude.
Is it? Oh, okay. He's not wearing Space Marine armor. That looks like just like flak armor with a bear head.
Yeah, it's an Imperial Guard bear.
All right.
It's like a. I don't know. It's going to be something wacky, like some HQ's pet.
Well, it's got a chain around its neck.
Yeah, it's going to be like the new orc. The new Nork Deg Dog.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, yeah, Cato Sicarius is in that picture, and yeah, he's Primarisified. So that might be a thing soon.
That makes sense because they're talking about the start of next year redoing the Space Marine Codex again.
Yeah. Well, they need it to be quite frank.
Yeah.
Yes, Armor of Contempt has made a lot of Space Marine chapters viable again, but the internal balance within Space Marines, Codex Space Marines, is fucking shite. Poor Imperial Fist players, if there are any left at this point, wounding against the fortifications. Ugh.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice, dude. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, there's new chapter approved. Warhammer 40k chapter approved. Warzone Nephilim. It's brought out 3 new armies of renown. One of them is a Primaris only army of renown.
It's not just Primaris only, isn't it? The weird infiltrator one. Was that an
That's an old one. That's the Vanguard army of renown. That's for white Raven Guard. That's the Raven Guard army of renown, which is Phobos only.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
This is a new army of renown.
Phobos is still Primaris, though.
Yeah.
Phobos is still Primaris.
Yes, yeah. I can't remember what it includes. Where is it? Why can't I find it? Well, oh yes, it includes new secondaries for every single faction, or adjusted secondaries for every single faction. Which is going to be helpful. I'm assuming a couple of armies will have their secondaries adjusted downwards and some others adjusted upwards.
We'll see how useful they'll be. So far, they've not been great.
Yeah, the Custodians ones are all shite. Like, astoundingly shite.
I just don't get it. Because it's just... most of the faction ones are just worse versions of the standard ones. I just don't get why they're doing it this way. Same with Eldar. It's like, oh, you could do the Eldar psychic ones, or you can just pick fucking Warp Ritual, like a normal person, if you actually want to score some points.
Oh,
it's bad.
Castellans of the Rift. That's the army of renown for the Space Marines. It's all Primaris. There's another army of renown for the Thousand Suns, which is only the shit
dog
ones.
shit.
The dog shit. Yeah. And then there's coteries of the Homunculi for Drakari. They're all shit, for what it's worth. Competitively speaking, they're all shit. But you know, if people want to run narrative campaigns, then they're probably interesting for those people.
Which is ironic. This is what I find really ironic. Those books are supposed to really be more for the competitive scene, aren't they?
Not really, not the supplements.
What, the chapter approved?
This is not in chapter approved.
It's Warzone. It's the next Warzone.
This is Nachman Gauntlet.
Yeah, the armies of renown. The armies of renown are not in chapter approved. They're in the Warzone book.
They're in the Warzone book. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Warzone book because it's really the competitive scene. Then Warzones, don't they? The new missions.
I was initially under the impression that the
new
armies
missions
of renown were there to provide a little bit of mid-balance data slate balance to sort of bring some armies some alternative styles of play, but it's not really been the case. 2/3 of the armies of renown have been absolute dog shit, and the other third have been horrendously overpowered.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think they're there for balance purposes. I think they are there to bring this, like you said, alternative play style. It's just, it's very hit or miss, right? You either get something like the AdMech one, or is it the veteran cohort?
Yeah, that's really good.
Or like the Drukari
Crusher
one?
Stampede.
Crusher Stampede. Or you get just a dog shit full boss memes.
Hey man, I'll have you know, there is one guy on the tournament circuit that is running the Vanguard Army of Renown. Right. He only plays that, and that's all he's played for since the book came out. And for the first time at a tournament, I think he came in the top 20 a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, and some people fuck horses. It's not. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should, or it's good.
Yep. Yeah, it's whack. So there's those armies of renown, and obviously the new Warzone stuff, and the new chapter approved also brings some changes to not just secondaries for armies, but it's also going to change the way that CP works. So they reckon about half as much CP at the start of the game, but you gain more towards the end of the game. So it's going to adjust the way people build their lists, because they might not spam relics and warlord traits as much.
Yeah.
But at the end of the game, you're going to have CP to spend instead of being at 0 CP like every game.
Yeah, I think it will be I think it would be detrimental to some armies.
Yes, massively.
For sure. Especially armies that don't try to not go into battalions.
Yeah.
So for example, like my Craft World army, that's gonna take a hit in terms of how I put it together.
Same with Orcs. Orcs want to run as many detachments as possible, to run as many as HQs as possible, and custom cultures as well.
Yeah, and it's going to stop CP dumping alpha strikes.
Well, Andy drops 8 CP turn 2.
Yeah.
To do all of to wipe half your army off the board, and that's not going to be possible anymore.
Not anymore, because he's playing knights now.
That's true. Even defensive armies like Custodes, people who are popping Transhuman, Emperor's Auspice, and Shadowkeeper stuff, they're not going to be able to do that on one squad turn 1 or turn 2 anymore, because they're just not going to have the CP for it.
Yeah.
It's
even my supposedly competitive or slightly more competitive Blood Angels army is probably going to suffer, because I'm going to probably have to drop relics and
100%. It's
Because I'm only starting on.
It's definitely going to change the meta. I don't know. Well, not the meta. It's definitely going to change the way people play. Whether it's for the better or for the good, I don't know, because I feel like it punishes other armies more than others. And some of the armies it punishes, it needs to, but some of the armies that it punishes, it is please stop.
Yeah, it's like
Orcs don't want any more nerfs. Just leave them alone, please. I think that's it for the chapter approved things. I don't think there's anything else on the chapter approved.
I just think it's going to be. I think the most interesting thing is going to be these points adjustments.
The problem with the points adjustments is they were done. They were done like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
So basically, when chapter approved comes out, I'm not playing Custodes anymore because this was pre-balanced data slate, and I'm fairly certain Custodes are going to get absolutely pasted on points.
Well, they said I don't get what Games Workshop does with fucking balance, because they said, "Oh, guys, look how cool we are! You don't have to pay for the points cost adjustments anymore." Okay, so does that mean you're gonna release them on time now, rather than based on 6 months ago, because you're dumb enough to like have to print them first on?
Yeah.
No, they're not going to adjust what they're going to put out on the website what is in the book, and then so we had the last adjustment, quarterly adjustment last month, didn't we?
Yeah, it was an early one, but that didn't change points, though.
No. The thing is, this chapter approved book is also the one thing that's going to contain the mission pack. So you'll get the points for free, but you won't get the missions for free.
Yeah.
So you'll still have to buy the book for the missions.
It's still a cock. It's regardless. It's The whole book system, I'm not a fan of. I kind of get it. It's nice to keep things fresh in terms of missions, but
do it digitally.
Having to pay 20 quid every fucking, was it 6 months?
Yeah.
It's a bit. Come on, man.
Yeah. Martin says it's going to hurt Blood Angels having half as much CP. Yeah.
Which is why I'm starting to already think about what I can take as bare bones and what's going to max out Armor of Contempt.
If you start enough at 6 CP, you're running at least 2 Warlord traits on one character, a free Warlord trait, and then 2 extra relics. That's you drop in 4 CP already. So you're starting the game with 2 CP, which means you're not going to be able to, reroll stuff, do your Hammer of Wrath and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
So, like I say, now I'm thinking, like bare bones commanders, and just try and maybe add in more tougher units rather than having all the buffs. So I tell you what, I think is going to be a thing actually. And I'd mentioned to Nathan, I was talking about earlier on about aggressors and about Centurions being a possible option for Space Marines in general. Like Nathan said, not so much for the Blood Angels. But I think we're probably going to see more heavy Gravis, heavy intercessors.
I don't.
Because so you can fit them with an Assault 3 bolter, strength for AP01 damage.
Is worth. It doesn't mean it's not what you AP
That's what I'm saying.
It's AP0.
Well, it's not AP1's dead because AP1 becomes AP0. So you might, instead of running a rapid fire gun, you run the Assault 3 variant.
But they're
3 shots instead of 2.
He's right, AP0 weapons go up in value.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything.
No, but they are like. So you got AP3, Assault 3, AP01 damage. So, like I say, you run those ones because AP1 and AP2 ain't worth shit. And the other options are all heavy options, which means on the move, you're dropping your ballistic skill. At least with the assault weapons, you can move, shoot, or move, charge. Move, run.
I'd rather have cheap troops in the troop slot and take Eradicators.
I think
the thing is, though, against other ones with them being T5 and 3 wounds in Gravis armor, the survivability goes through the roof. It's only once you start getting, and especially when they're sitting in cover, because of the T5 and the Armour of Contempt, then sitting in cover, you're then looking realistically at shifting them. You'd look at your opponent needs to be looking at AP4 and above. So you're forcing your opponent to start looking at higher AP weapons.
Everybody's looking at higher AP weapons at the moment anyway.
Yep.
I don't think Gravis will ever be a thing unless something significantly changes.
They already have good Gravis models, just not heavy.
Not the heavy intercessors.
The heavy intercessors, they
don't,
just have awkward weapons.
Yeah. They don't achieve anything.
And
they're just more expensive troops.
It's just they all get like heavy weapons.
So they can't move.
Unless you pick the rapid fire ones and it's like 5-1-1. Or you pick the Assault 3 one. Which is sure, you might as well pick the fucking normal intercessors with the assault weapon, right? It's the same shit.
It's 120 points for intercessors, and they're fair enough. They give you the 12-inch deep strike, but they're only 2 wounds a pop. T4. For 20 additional, so for 20 additional points, so instead of 120, 140, you've got 3 wound models.
You only get 3 of them.
So you don't. You get 5.
Do you get 5 for 20 more points?
So you get 5 heavy intercessors. Heavy intercessors comes in squads of 5.
Okay.
So for 140 points, you've got 5 models, 15 wounds, T5, Armour of Contempt, and the Assault 3. So they just survive more. So if you're going to have a couple of units sitting on your backfield, or even again because of the Gravis, if your centre objective's got cover, light cover, heavy cover, they become significantly harder to shift.
Nope. I'll tell you why. If you are going to pick a unit to sit in your backfield, why are you wasting your points on?
They're going to be sat in a building, hoping not to get shot and hiding. You want them to be as cheap as humanly possible, and you want them to deny some backline deep strike.
If your opponent's gunning down for your backfield, you're not going to be defending it with 1 unit, right? Or whatever unit you're defending with, if they're gunning for your backfield, they're going to take it regardless. So you don't want to spend too much. Nobody leaves their good units in their backfield.
You stick a bunch of infiltrators in your back line to deny a deep strike within 12.
Yeah.
Dirt cheap.
Yep, that's basically it. Heavy intercessors are just... I see what they were going for, right? They kind of wanted this more, like... I think they wanted to make a shooter unit that you can be aggressive with.
Yeah.
Which you can, but they do no damage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure, you got, like you said, you got your Assault 3. It's 501. Who gives a shit?
If they'd have given them actual heavy bolters, 5 minus 1, 2.
One guy can pick a heavy bolt.
Yeah, that's the problem. Only one of them can take it.
And at that point, you wouldn't take the heavy bolter. I think you'd probably pick like the Hellstorm heavy bolter. Yeah. No, not the Hellstorm heavy bolter.
The Executor.
Executor heavy bolter. 5 minus 2, 3.
Yeah, 2 shots.
Yep. Yeah, they're just a bit fucking. They're in a stupid position. They're in a silly place. They're bringing out so many data sheets for Space Marines. The problem is they're constantly competing with each other. So Gravis have to compete with Terminators and all of that jazz.
If you want to bring, if you're keen on Gravis, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good Gravis.
Yeah,
well, I say
Eradicators, Inceptors.
Yeah, you got Inceptors, and
Intercessors. Not Intercessors.
What they're called, the elite guys, aggressors.
Yeah,
I think aggressors. If you just want aggressors, are not bad. I think bringing in a unit of just
they're fairly cheap, 120 points for 3, aren't they?
Yeah, but they put out a lot of shots, right?
They're great into clearing chaff. If your opponent is protecting their key units with bubble wrap, then they're great at removing bubble wrap.
Yeah, I mean, was that like 6 shots each, 401 plus Fragstorm grenade launcher?
Yep.
which is
That'll kill
another
guard.
D6.
That'll kill rangers.
Yeah, if you want to clear chaff. Though I think if you want to clear chaff, I think the Inceptor's probably better.
Oh, the bolt inceptors, yeah.
Actually, no, they're still their guns are better, aren't they? 5-1/1.
Yeah. And they move a lot further. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
Other things. A dwarf on a bike without wheels.
Dog shit.
I think I preferred the old model. The one with
It's
got
not-
like a penny-sized front wheel, huge dirt rear wheels, and then a dude just like not even got his hands on the handlebars, just got a fucking gun pointed in the air and a little flag. That's top tier. This fucking thing with
The new one is a
bridge
bit.
magnets and a big pistol. It's a revolver, isn't it? And a shitty stuff.
No, it's a big shotty, isn't it? It's pretty sure it's a big shot.
It's got a revolving magazine.
It's a pump action revolver.
It's fucking
It genuinely
is
is when
actually.
you look at it. It's a fucking
Actually
pump
is.
action revolver.
I'm dying.
It's a revolving shotgun.
So it is. It's a revolving shotgun. I keep looking at it, and I now realized what the aesthetic is reminding me of. I get it now.
Go on then.
It's Fallout.
Ah, you are correct.
It's fucking Fallout. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
See, I think you were more at Bioshock or Fallout stroke
No.
Bioshock.
No,
The
this is
curvatures and the guns and the clothing.
is very
Yeah.
Fallout.
I see what you mean. Now that you
It's
said
very
it,
Fallout.
that is very. It's like it looks like what people thought sci-fi would look like in the 80s or the 60s.
Yeah, that's
or
it. It's like a 60s, 70s sci-fi.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's whatever. It's probably going to be quite small. I think it's on the same size base as Cerberus Raiders. So these guys aren't actually that large. The thing I find really frustrating with the Warhammer community is all of their previews make the models look massive. And then when I see them in real life, when we went to the tournament, when we went to the GT, Gareth, the Tyranid player, walked up to me and he was like, "Oh, have you ever seen the Parasite?" And I was like, "Oh no." And he showed it to me.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
But
like
it's tiny. Yeah,
it's the size of a USB stick.
yeah.
And I was like, what
it's
the
a
fuck,
normal
man?
HQ
The
size.
fucking
Yeah.
community article made it look like it was a fucking hive tyrant with wings.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is on the same size base as the Squighog boys. So this is tiny.
Yeah, no,
This-
I'm
this
with
is
you.
minuscule.
I've had the same thing. I thought that thing was big as well. The
Yeah.
Tyranid. I thought it was big. Was it the Parasite of Mortrix? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was big as well. Then I was like, wait, no, this is. Because I saw the price for it. Yeah, I saw the price for it. I was like, oh, never mind. It's fucking small.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting about this picture is there is no evidence that it is attached to the base, or they've photoshopped out the flying stem.
No, it is attached on the
Oh,
wall.
it is attached. I was going to say the back right or back left on the actual model itself, like Dan says, is attached to the rock there.
Ah, it must be pinned. It's got to be pinned. There's no way that would hold up with glue.
It's probably one piece of.
I was going to say that'll be one piece of plastic. The rock will be attached to that, and then that
okay.
will be attached. What I want to say is the axle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I quite like. I know you two are like. I do like it. I think it's quite cool.
No, I was kind of
I do. I
looking
like it.
forward a bit to the Leagues of Votan.
And now you feel like you're not.
No, I don't like their aesthetic.
I wish they'd kept the flag. Mind, I'm with Nathan on the flag. I wish
Dude,
they'd kept
I wish
the flag.
they'd
That
just
would've
kept the fucking trike, man. Just give
Yeah,
me
this
a
trike
bunch of
was rad.
fucking old, like, wasted dwarves who have the galaxy's most powerful fucking guns, and they're fucking off their tits, riding around on bicycles that have funny shaped wheels and trains, shooting their revolver shotguns in the air.
Do you know what I have noticed?
give me
I
a
have
couple.
noticed about this dude, and I don't like. He doesn't have a beard.
That's because it's a woman, isn't it?
Is
Yeah, I
it?
thought it was a
Is it-
woman too, but
It's androgynous, whatever it is.
I was going to say, how can you tell?
Femoid, yeah. Certainly looks like a femoid.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I had to throw that.
The
I'm
other thing,
not
the
sure.
other thing that annoys me. So when they announced the Leagues of Votan, the first thing that occurred to me was, okay, these guys are going to have fucking mole artillery mortars or whatever they're called. They're going to have grav guns. They're going to have like these insanely powerful guns, but sort of be fairly elite. So far, with all of the previews, all I'm seeing is stubbers and shitty guns. And I don't want them to be an army like Admech, where they just have a bunch of like strength 3, strength 4, shitty little guns with like 1 AP each.
Yeah, it feels like they're somewhere. I think they're meant to fit in this sort of somewhere between. Between Admech / Eldar and Space Marines, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they have that toughness 4, but they're 1 wound.
Only 1 wound. It's very weird. It's a very strange army that
they
I've seen
are
so
slow.
You know what I was going to say? Do you know what I think it's going to be? I think
Shit.
the troops are going to be, like you say, a load of shitty AP1 guns. They're going to be slower than Space Marines, slightly less tanky than Space Marines, but more tanky than Admech and Guard. And then I think we're going to have a shitload of like ridiculous artillery, a bit like Tau.
Oh, the artillery that isn't worth shit.
Because it's
cool.
-1 ballistic
can't
skill
wait.
+1 armor save.
You can't wait for dog shit artillery.
You're gonna have that. You're gonna have troops that are relatively dink and don't do anything, and I think we're gonna have a load of big ass heavy land trains.
Now, I bet you they're gonna have some obnoxious fucking rules when they come out.
Yeah.
And they're gonna break the fucking meta, and we're gonna have to wait a couple of months for everyone to calm down. But they have the advantage. We have the advantage that if they are broken, we're not going to see many around because it's going to take people time to acquire, build,
paint, and learn how to play.
models.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and judging by the size of the models, it's going to be a huge fucking army.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as bad as like Admech, like not as hoardy as Admech. But
maybe, who knows?
Speaking of Admech, I keep looking at them, man. Kind of fancy some Admech.
Have you seen the latest win rates for Admech?
Admech are good.
What?
I'm saying I've the shuttle.
You sure about that?
Hey, don't ruin the dream, dude.
1 second.
Let
me pull up.
They were great, and then they went shit. That's why I'm saying to Nathan, have the crap back up.
No,
because they weren't doing that well.
No, again, it's a lot of the people. Their win rate was inflated by them being busted, so everyone was playing them, right? Now all the good players moved on to a different faction, and the people that are still playing Admech are probably not the best at it.
Yeah, their win rate is 35% at the moment.
It's honestly, I don't look at win rates. Yeah. They're really not that. They are deceiving. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a good measuring stick of how good a faction.
It's not. Nobody's
everybody knows this shit. Everybody knows this shit.
Yeah. But Admech, the problem with Admech is all of their guns have no AP. And so in this world of Armor of Contempt, they're not really doing much.
They went up in value, what are you about?
Yeah.
They're still winning Space Marines on the same amount.
Yeah. It's just very odd. Anyway, only other thing left to talk about. Knights, Chaos Knights. Comes out next Saturday.
Woo.
New models. New weird fucking rules as well. I was talking to Andy, because he's obviously moving to Chaos Knights now. And as per the new Codex, which has been leaked for the most part, if you're bringing at least 4 Desecrator class Knights, the medium-sized Knights, in your detachment, you get 18 CP.
That's pretty good, assuming you have something to fucking spend it on.
Yeah. So your detachment is free because of your Warlord, isn't it? Is it 18 CP or is it 15? I think it might be 15. So you start on 12. The detachment costs you 3 CP, But if you have at least 4 desecrator-sized knights, you get a bonus 6 CP. So I think you start on 15. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And then you obviously, yeah, it's. I also watched the podcast that Art of War did on the Chaos Codex.
Oh yeah.
They liked one aspect of the Codex with these little benefits that you get on the Chaos Knights when you meet certain things, and they were like, oh yeah, it's good, but it's only for that turn. It's not. It's for the rest of the game. So the advantage of the Chaos Knights is they don't have to go around doing bullshit and then losing it when they lose honor, like the Imperial Knights. They just get their bonuses once they get them for the rest of the game. From both codexes, the Chaos one is so much more fun to play by the looks of things. There's less fucking about.
Yeah.
And also the rules just seem way cooler to me. Honestly, like the Chaos Knight rules look so much cooler. The warlord traits, the stratagems, everything. Andy was talking to me about sticking the corn mark on a knight with 12 attacks so it gets an extra attack, and then using the strat that whenever you hit on a 2+, you do 2 mortal wounds. So you're looking at like...
Doesn't it ignore invuls as well?
Yep. So you're looking at 15 hits doing 30 mortal wounds?
Yeah. On top of the damage.
On 2s?
Wait for more mortal wounds.
That's just ignore mortal wounds. That's like one night's just Dan. Your big tank things are going to be busy.
Oh, the fire prisms.
Fire prisms.
5 prisms. I mean, yeah, if knights are about.
And can the Harlequins take fire prisms?
Yeah, in a roundabout way.
The only reason I ask is because that thing's going to tear through a Harlequin's army. Like,
yeah, Harlequins don't do good against mortals.
it's the fact that it turns off your invuls as well.
Cornet target, you have to declare shit before the game, I believe.
Cornate target, you can only do it once per game, I believe. You declare it, and then everything within engagement range, you lose your invuln and they lose their invuln, and then it's just for that turn, I think. And keep in mind, a knight turning off its own invuln is
bad times.
Yeah.
Well, it just means that he has to kill that target.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he will die on the clapback.
Pretty much, yeah.
Would I be right in assuming that if like one of the knights gets like Zinch or something, you're going to get access to something like Null Zone as well?
No.
No?
No. Null Zone is Space Marine only power.
Well, I was just thinking like the equivalent of...
There's plenty of mortal wound sources in the new Chaos Knights Codex. Not sure about the Imperial Knights one. I'm not really interested in the Imperial Knights one, to be perfectly honest. The whole honor and shit, it just turns me off so completely. There's going to be a bunch of, fedora wearing Reddit users who will be gleefully playing Imperial Knights saying, I fight for your honor, Fire Maiden, and then they lose because they lost honor because they had to fall back or some shit because, the mission primary is a thing that exists.
Well, that's what you get for being a bitch and falling back, to be honest.
Yeah.
Deserve it.
Unless you solo watch.
God.
Yeah, other than that, there's not a whole lot else. There was a bunch more previews for Kill Team, which was for like we said, the infiltrators. Not the infiltrators, the fucking...
If the Incursors? No, it was infiltrators, wasn't it?
And then the other half of the box is Traitor Guard, isn't it?
Traitor Guard, yeah.
Yeah, Traitor Guard.
But you do get that new nice scenery.
Yeah.
And if the price point, so I'm wondering if it's going to be similarly priced to say the Space Wolves Tower one with all the scenery, all the like the Forge World style scenery. So the AdMech scenery, if that makes sense.
All right.
So that one was price point, I think it's about 140, 150 quid.
Oh my god.
Well, when you think about it, the terrain was they wanted 120 for that terrain set, didn't they?
It's too much.
I know.
It's just too much now. Like, I can't. I don't know, dude. I don't
You're
know.
out.
Kill Team's cool. I like the idea of it. I would probably enjoy playing it. But if I was someone coming into it and someone said, "Oh yeah, there's this really cool skirmish type game that you can play. It's really fun. It's 150 quid." I'd be like, "Nah, man. That's suck a dick. I'll go play League." I mean, most people are just gonna use models they already own, use terrain they already own, and just buy the book or whatever and play like that. But if anybody wants to like start Kill Team, 140, £150 price point is not the way to introduce people to.
No, it's dumb because they inflate the point with the fucking scenery that nobody gives a shit about. Just they need to make like I know exactly what they need to do. I think, in my opinion, when you make these starter kits, give people or add to the kit cardboard terrain.
Yeah.
Not the fucking nice plastic ones. Don't get me wrong. Their scenery are really cool looking. But it literally just absolutely skyrockets the prices of the box.
Well, in fairness, the Imperium one, they did 3, didn't they, initially, for Imperium? And one was just the models. One was the models and a couple of extra models and a cardboard piece of scenery. And then the premium one was all of the models and the terrain. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's only the
get started. That was the
It's not Kill Team. It's something else. But yeah.
No, it's not Kill Team. It was.
Those are the actual 40k ones.
Yeah, it was the 40k ones. But I get what you're saying. You're right. They've done it before, so why can't they do it again? But with Kill Team instead of the generic 40k one.
From what I hear, Kill Team is actually pretty good.
Kill Team is very good. We just never get the chance to play it.
Yeah, it's. I would love to play it, but I just don't have the time.
No.
I like the idea of having 5 or 6 dudes that are all fairly unique and playing skirmish type game, but it's another rule set to learn, and 40k is already quite a complex game with many armies complex.
You don't want to be getting crossover rules and stuff like that. Like, oh, my unit does this, and well, no, that's a Kill Team rule.
The new the new Kill Team rules are a bit different as well. They're not as
Custodians have like 20 wounds or 30 even.
Yeah, the rules in the new one are very different. It's not tied to 9th edition anyway.
It's crazy. Anyway, that's all, folks. Next week we are playing. Dan is playing an army. Is it Eldar?
Yeah,
against Henry, Eldar against Henry with his 1,000 Sons from Glory Hogs, the top K-Sons player in the country. Best in faction. And then on Sunday next week we'll probably be going through the Chaos Knight Codex because I don't give a shit about Imperial Knights, not gonna lie. And then we have a bunch more games planned out for the rest of the month, which will be Andy playing Chaos Knights against Dan again. And then the final Wednesday of the month we'll be playing Chris's Orcs against James's whatever James wants to play.
Angels, I think.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I won't be playing any more games on stream, but I'll be playing a good 2 games a week practicing for the RTT. So other than that, that's all. Do subscribe, it helps us a bunch. Like the video or dislike the video, we don't mind. We love it all. And we'll see you guys next week at 7 PM on Wednesday.
Toodaloo!
Good night.